Vanchakalpatarubhyascha कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। So we're continuing from where we stopped last time. We had discussed these four parts of the social order, and we had seen the analogy how this is compared to the four parts of a general human body. Now ahead, today we'll specifically see the duties of the varnas and the ashramas, the four varnas and the four ashramas. Yeah. Any devotee would like to read this?
Brahmanas: peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. These are the natural qualities by which the Brahmanas work.
Yeah, so this is given in the Gita 18th chapter. These are like qualities by which you can recognize a Brahmana. And these are natural, these are not artificial. These are not like a person who claims himself to be a Brahmana, he artificially or in a very strenuous way, he like pushes himself into it in a very conscious way. No, he actually naturally feels for these qualities. And of course, there can be an education and training program also. But a Brahmana would delight in practicing these qualities. For example, let's talk about purity or self-control. They're interrelated. So a Brahmanical minded person, he'll naturally feel that, oh, why should I indulge into illicit relationships? His senses may feel tempted, okay, but he in his heart, he will definitely feel a kind of resistance towards it. So, and especially once he's educated and trained, what to say then? So education and training can bring out the best of the person's potential. And when he gets educated and trained in the laws of karma and in the instructions of the Shastras, he definitely wants to lead a life in this way. He'll be able to make a very good discrimination. This is called Viveka Buddhi. Viveka Buddhi means a buddhi, a type of intelligent discrimination which comes by the sober knowledge of spiritual life. So it has a basis. Okay, like the Brahmana knows, I'm not the body, I'm the soul, and the goal of life is also spiritual. And the material enjoyment, they actually all the types of material enjoyment, they do not satisfy us. Moreover, they are temporary, and therefore his mind is very peaceful. He is not like hankering for, oh, I need to buy this car and that car. He's very peaceful. This peaceful does not mean that he's just sitting at one place, he's not active, he's inactive. No, this peacefulness means he's not disturbed by a constant influx of unlimited desires for materials and gratification. He is not hankering for an entire world to know him, to glorify him, for his subscriber base to increase in YouTube or something. He's not at all. It's not like he just to increase his viewership, he wants to say something which people like to hear, which they want to hear. No, it's not like that. Austerity means whether one day he likes or not, he still follows the right dharma, still follows a pure lifestyle. Okay, today I'm feeling like, let me take chicken. No, just like you go to college, whether you feel it or not, you feel like doing or not, you complete your assignments, you do whatever you're expected to. Why? Because you know this is good for your future. You know this is the right thing to be done. You know this is your duty, right? So at various platforms one may do. Similarly, the Brahmana does. Tolerance. So he tolerates the misgivings of the mind and senses. He tolerates the wrong desires, like the desires which may come out of envy. So he can see his mind as a separate person. He can clearly see, and he can tolerate. And he can also tolerate the dualities of this material world, knowing very well that ultimately this material world is temporary, and these are only happening to his body, which he is not. So like sukha and dukkha, okay, man and apman. It's like somebody is insulting, somebody is praising, over praising, okay, and sometimes there is a lot of cold, sometimes there is a lot of heat. So he tolerates the dualities. He tolerates the inconveniences. Like he focuses, just like a mother in India tolerates the heat which may come while she has to cook lunch in the summer afternoon in the hot kitchen, because she is doing the right thing. She is doing the right duty which she is expected to do, and she has love for her family members. So she is very happy to do. Similarly, a Brahmana is Brahma Janatiti Brahmana. He is always focused on spiritual life, and therefore Brahma Janati, person who is always conscious of Brahma, which means spiritual truths. So he always connects the spiritual dots in every situation, and therefore he can tolerate the other things. Honesty is very honest. So, for example, there was one boy, his name was Satyakama. So, this story comes in one Shastra. So, he approached a guru to join his Gurukul. He was just a little boy. So, the guru said that, okay, I can take you inside my Gurukul, but I need to know who are your parents. So, can you please tell me the name of your father? So, he says, I don't know. Let me go and inquire from my mother. He goes, asks his mother. Mother says, my dear son, I'm sorry to say, but I was very much into social relationships, and I am myself not sure who your father is. So he just goes back, and right in front of everyone in the class, he just tells that, this is the thing. So what to do? Guru says, immediately you come, join us. We welcome you. Why? Because you're a Brahman. You're fit to learn. Because you're truthful, you're honest. Doesn't matter who your father is. So like that, he's naturally honest. So he has values, he has principles by which he does decision making, by which he does his dealings. So he's honest. He has integrity. Then knowledge. Knowledge means this knowledge is not like our engineering and medical. This knowledge, that also he may have. But more important is he has wisdom, like knowledge and wisdom. So this knowledge means, like, I am not the body, I am the soul. There is laws of nature, there is next life and the goal of life and all that. And I am part of the Supreme Lord. And wisdom means, like, the application as well. It's like a digested knowledge. Okay. So a person may have the information or the knowledge that cigarette smoking is injurious to health and drinking liquor is not good for health. He may have all this kind of knowledge, but he may not be able to, have the wisdom. Even Hiranyakashipu has tremendous knowledge. He had. There is an entire chapter in the 7th canto. If you just forget the fact that the knowledge was spoken by him, you can actually give an entire class based on that, and people will love you. Like
low battery.
Because he he's speaking the science of body and soul. To whom? To the mother and wife of Hiranyaksha, his elder brother, which means his own mother and his brother's wife. Because after Hiranyaksha's death, they were lamenting. They were like very much in grief, crying, very bitterly. So when he spoke all this to them, they became, Prashanta, like, oh, okay, like, na shotati, na kankshati, no more lamentation, no more. So can you imagine the knowledge which he gave had that effect? It's like the medicine can be given by anyone. Bhagavatam says, Jnana Dattva Jnana, Ajnana Dattva Jnana, Uttama Shloka Namaya. You take a medicine with knowledge or without knowledge, it anyways acts. So Of course, he could not speak about Krishna to them. He could only speak about body and soul level. So the knowledge, not just knowledge or information, the Brahmana has wisdom. He has digested knowledge. There are so many people speaking leadership sutras, this and that on YouTube, but actually, how much do they have on ground? I remember when I was in my final year, so 2007, my undergraduate year. So there's this company Shell. So I was into chemical engineering. So they had come for the placements, and so in my some rounds of the interview, so they asked me, "Do you have any leadership experience?" I said, "Oh, this is our area." You know, so because we have so much experience, really, like, and we have some training also. So then they started asking questions. Okay, tell us, how do you keep everyone motivated in the team? Okay, tell us, have you faced any challenging situation? How do you handle it? Oh my God, I went one after the other. I told them so many incidents. We had this camp, we had this, and they were like, they were like flabbergasted. They said, "Arey, even our, many managers cannot tell us all this. This is like brilliant. Where did you learn all this?" I said, "Come, you learn Gita, everything you learn. Come to our BYS." So in entire campus, actually, they took only two guys. We were like 350, I think, in those days. 350 was the strength of the college, and the undergraduate, and maybe postgraduate and all, total maybe 450 or so. So they took only two guys, and they had offered the highest package in that year in our college. So I remember, when my name got cleared, so next day everyone in my branch, they were just asking, "Hey Eddie, how did you do it? And what did you say, which we didn't?" And blah blah blah, all those questions they were asking. I said, "Baba, I didn't. I just shared what I do, and many of you have been mocking around." Say Arjuna and Gita helped me. So I had the last laugh in my undergraduate days, especially upon those who had been mocking around Krishna consciousness. Anyway, so the point was that anybody actually who is into any field, he'll appreciate wisdom and not just knowledge or information. That's Google can be called guru from on the basis of information, but wisdom, yeah, that's a. And then religiousness. Religiousness means there is a code of conduct based upon the spiritual knowledge. For example, how do you treat a guest? Okay. And what is your duty when you have money? Like my father used to tell me, whenever my father would see anybody in need of anything, like this was in early 90s, I was a kid back then. So he would say, see son, Krishna, God has given us money, and it is our duty to help others. This money doesn't belong to us. This is religiousness. Okay. This actually comes by one may not have so much to speak, but there is a sense of duty based on the spiritual knowledge or the spiritual foundation. There is a sense of duty in a person. Okay. So or there is a sense of responsibility. Like if one is a male, then there is a certain sense of responsibility towards like in one of our yatras. So there was this. It was in Vrindavan only, I believe. So there are so many water bodies. So in one of the holy places, holy spots, his own as Radhanath Maharaj, he gave a very nice class and all, and then he left the devotee, okay, and go to these holy places in groups and take bath and all. So at one of the holy places, there was like all this Matajis wanted to take bath, and all the men had already taken. Anyway, they will take in another place. So they left, like, and there were these 2-3 men, 2-3 Prabhujis who were kept there to care for the women, so to guard and whatever, like for safety. So later on, some of the men who had gone, like most of the men who had gone, so they started a little bit teasing these men. Hey, you guys are like attached to Matajis and all that. Like, it's a fun time actually. It may not be that serious, but I don't know what happened. But these men who were left there to guard or protect them, they became little bit like, like it was a little touchy thing. they felt kind of, no, we are not attached. We also want to show, we'll go. So they left. And these Matas were saying that, Arey, you're supposed to stay back here. Krishna protects everybody. So fine. So they said, we are also jivas, in fact. You are also jivas, we are also jivas. Oh my God. So later on, what happened? Some hoodlums kind of guys, our Indore Maharaj says acid heads. I don't know what that means, but I understand something like that. So they came there and they started doing, they had some not so pleasant exchanges with some Matajis. And so there were some Shatrani type of Matajis, little bold. So they came little ahead and they dealt with them, and then all the Matajis came back. In those days, yatras were not very big in number, so this was. So when they returned, they were scolding these men that, Arey, you guys left, simply because somebody is laughing at you, attachment and all. You left your duty only. Krishna has given you a male body and you are told to do that service. And you left. How can you do that? This is called religiousness. Like, you are a male and that was a service in that situation. You will not leave on. Chanakya saw Chandragupta in his childhood. So he saw a boy who was removing little rocks, pieces of rocks from a path. He asked, my dear boy, why are you doing this? He said, sir, this path, it has been strewn over with so many rocks and so many of the passers-by, they are facing difficulty. I am removing. He said, who asked you? Nobody. Why should somebody ask? It should be done, right? It is creating problem for everybody, for cows and for old people and for everybody. I thought, let me do this. Immediately understood. See, he has that feeling that this is my sense of my duty, like that. Am I being understandable, bro?
Yes, Prabhu. Very much.
So like that. So this comes in because see, these are all interconnected. These all qualities are all interconnected. So ultimately, the basis is spiritual knowledge. So see, nobody can claim I'm a Brahmana because I have this title, or I was born here, or I was, my father was a Brahmana, or so many ways they can claim. It's not like that. It is, as we discussed in the first discussion, guna karma vibhaga. Guna means qualities, karma means activities, or it may also mean one's decisions, one's priorities. All these things are in guna and karma. So they make a person into a Brahmana or a Kshatriya or a whatever. Similarly, Brahmachari. What do you understand of Brahmachari? Brahmachari is not bachelor. Bachelor may be a Brahmachari, but a Brahmachari is not just a bachelor. People have this understanding. Brahmachari, oh, you did not marry. See, it's not about marriage at all. It's not about relationship with a woman at all. Brahmachari means one who's always focused on Brahman. How? This is very clearly well defined. Brahmachari Gurukule Vasandanto Guroritam Acharan Dāsa Vananicho Guror Sudra Sauradam. So even a Grihastha can be a Brahmachari. How? Brahmachari Gurukule. What does Brahmachari do? He stays in Gurukul. He may best is physical stay. Even if he may not physically stay, he may stay with a wife nearby the Guru's ashram. But he is actually a member, a part of a team player of Guru's team. So he's Guru Kule. His Kula, his identification is with Guru. Okay, Guru Kule. Vasandanto. Vasandanto means he controls his mind and senses, specifically senses. Vasandanto means senses. Okay. Vasandanto. Gurur Hitam. Gurur Hitam means his object of every action, every decision, whatever he has, his possessions, his assets, his abilities, Hitam, the benefactor, okay, of everything is Guru. Guru means is not about a personality cult. It's because the Guru is engaged into the service, the loving service to the Supreme Lord and the welfare activities for the entire society. Therefore, so he is like part of the Guru's team. Because Guru is part of Krishna's team. Like that. So Vasandantu Gurur Hitam. Everything he does is actually for the pleasure of Guru. Is like just like this, everything our hand does is for ourselves, the body. Hand belongs to the body. A chaste Vedic woman, whatever she does it as an assistance to the husband, and she does it for the pleasure of the husband. Husband is a benefactor. So they are one team. Similarly, Guru and his people, like they're one team. So Brahmachari, Guru Kune, Vasandanto Guru. It's like Brahmacharis are like the extended senses, karmendriyas of Guru. So Guru know, okay, I have so many senses or resources. So I can do this for the Lord, I can do this for the Lord. Hey, Prabhu, you do this, like that. It's like we tell our hand. The hand doesn't have any independent thing. So pick up this, pick up that, do this, do that, like that. Vasandanto. And he is very sense controlled. Even if you see the explanation of the, in Chaitanya Charitamrita's explanation of the qualities of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's servant, Vallabha Bhattacharya, who was actually pleasing Mahaprabhu. The previous servant was not very pleasing, Kalakrishna Das. So, because he was not sense controlled and he was not very mature in dealing with people, because he did not understand the dynamics of Varna and Ashrama and all that. And he also did not have much of spiritual knowledge. So, because of which he could not understand Mahaprabhu's spiritual needs. So, all three places he was failing. But Balabhadra Bhattacharya, it is explained about him that he was very learned, okay, Panditya. And so he could understand like the spiritual dynamics which Mahaprabhu's needs may have. As a servant, one needs to know that. Second, he was very mature, Paripakwa. He was very mature in dealing with, like if Mahaprabhu's god brothers are asking, is Mahaprabhu available? No. His schedule is fixed. No, you cannot say that. They are his god brothers, like senior god brothers. So you need to have maturity, whom I am dealing. Same talk, what impacts to their. So a good servant needs to have all these qualities. So, and some Mataji is asking, who is asking, like, what talks are happening, what can be the impacts. And third quality is, I'm sorry, I lost the track. First quality I told you was he's very learned. He's very sense controlled also. So if he's not sense controlled, then the servant has to get up before the master gets up. He has to sleep after the master sleeps. And he has to cook what the master likes, not what I like. He likes. So in fact, before Balabhadra Bhattacharya, this Kalakrishna Das, he actually got attracted to some women, and he left Mahaprabhu's service only. And then Mahaprabhu had to make plan and do all the things required to get him back to ISKCON, to Mahaprabhu's. So Mahaprabhu said, you tell me one thing, you are my servant or I am your servant? I have to always take care that it's like you are like a child. Hey, beta, he should not run away on the road and something will kill him and all that. So he said, what are you doing? Bringing you, I was supposed to have been relieved of my basic things, so that I can focus on spiritual activities. And you are making me doubly engaged. So you are yourself a project. Other and Balabhadra Bhattacharya, he was like, he really relieved Mahaprabhu everything. Of course, he had one thing which Mahaprabhu later on, he would get bewildered. Like somebody would say, oh, Krishna has come back to Yamuna. Krishna has come back to Vrindavan. See. So somebody is carrying in the middle of the night in the river Yamuna some lamb in the boat, and this guy was told by some sentimental people in Braj that see, that is actually Kalia, and that is a big jewel on the hood of the Kalia's head. Krishna is there riding. See the reflection in them. Something like that. And he, oh, Mahaprabhu, Krishna has come. Krishna, Mahaprabhu said, for your kind information, I am only Krishna. If I come there, what are you saying? Come down, cool down. How do you believe Krishna? So he would get philosophically bewildered because he would easily get carried away by somebody saying something. But that was a small thing. So Mahaprabhu said, it's fine. I'm still happy with you. But the idea is that a brahmachari is actually, he always acts for the benefit of Guru, for the pleasure of Guru, as an assistant to Guru. Entire Guru Ashtakam. Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam. It's like Guru is only doing all those things. Shri Vigraharadhana Nityanana Shringaratan Mandiramarjanadu Yuktasya Bhaktam Chaniyam Jatovi Vande Guru Shri Charanam. So Guru is engaging, just like what we do. See. So what do you say if you are present here in front of me? What will you say? Acyuta Mohan Das picked up the book. Actually, see, I didn't pick up. Technically, my hand picked it up. But because my hand is such a pakka servant of me, he's just me. He's just mine. Like I don't even have to. Oh, very nice. Thank you. Like praise it and give it some. No. Like you all may distribute a lot of books in San Jose, but then what does the world say? Oh, Vaisheshika Prabhu has done so much. He has done hundreds of thousands of books he has distributed. No, may not be him. But when we say him, it includes all of you. Okay. So similarly, you see, like a brahmachari, he doesn't have a separate identity of Guru or Hitam. So he is not like envious, or he says, okay, you said this Guru did. What about I also did something? No. It's like after marriage in Indian system, couple means they're one unit. They go to a function, they'll go together. There's no separate. Even they sit for religious homages and all this together. When Mother Sita was banned to the forest, so Lord Ram would sit in the yagyas. So there was a deity of Mother Sita, you know that? Which was like he cannot sit alone, otherwise yagya cannot be done. So brahmachari means his identity is Guru's servant, Guru Hitam, Guru's assistant. Guru Hitam. Acharan, Dāsa. He always behaves as a servant. So which means like first master, then him. So Acharan Dāsa. Okay. Vana. He lives a simple natural life so that his needs are minimal and his focus can be totally on Guru. He always is available for them. Acharan Dāsa Vana. Nicho. Nicho means he is very humble. He doesn't expect respect. He rather is always offering respect to Guru and those who are important to Guru. Okay. Acharan Dāsa Vana Nicho. Gurur Sudra Sauradam. He is very friendly. Although he is very respectful and dedicated to Guru, he is a very dear friend to the Guru. Which means he is very open. Like he can speak very, like he discusses and he even gives suggestions. And so if he is very respectful, very dedicated, but not friendly, he is not able to talk. He's not even able to ask Guru Maharaj, would you take this like black pepper or this? Then he may not be able to perform properly any service because there is no. So he's very friendly, externally very friendly, but internally very very respectful and dedicated. Right? Anyway, I just gave a very small summary about brahmachari. The idea is that these are very clearly defined. It's not just I shave my head, I don a saffron dress, and I have not got married, and I say, oh, I am a brahmachari. No. I didn't see. Where did you see there talk about marriage? There's in the scriptural definition, there's no talk about marriage. Brahmachari means exclusive focus on assisting Guru in service to Krishna and society. Khatam bhat. That's all. Now, because it is exclusive, therefore it doesn't get. Point is not that he is not married. That's not a point only. That doesn't qualify only. But that is implied because of exclusive focus. One may get married also, and then both may be serving Guru. That is also Brahma. That is why there's a Grahastha Brahmachari, Upakurvana, there's a Upakurvana Brahmachari, and there is a Grahastha. Like that. So I hope that, there is Naishtika Brahmachari and there is a Upakurvana. Upakurvana Brahmachari means he is married, but both of their focus is on Guru's service on still. Like that. Okay. So anyway, going back to, but it's time got over. My God, time's short. That is why we want to go to spiritual world. Not because there is no problem there, but because there is so much freedom there. There's no limit to serve Krishna. Here, things begin and it ends. Anyway, I hope whatever little discussion we had was sensible and helpful.
Yeah, very good. Thank you so much, Prabhu. I really like the definition which you went through every word in Brahman, qualities of a Brahman, peaceful, religiousness, especially. I used to think, what does this word mean? That was very nice. And you gave the example of that passing with Yatra. So that was very helpful. And also clarifying the Brahmachari. So that is so amazing. That verse I always think, but yes, now I know what it means.
7.12.1.
Yes, okay. I will write it.
So Narad Muni describes about all the Varnas and Ashramas in that section.
Yeah, this was always confusing to me because Prabhupada also says all this time, Grace, Brahmachari, and then there's so much focus on not getting married many times we see. So it's very confusing that what is actually implied. But now from this verse, we can understand that it is exclusive focus to Guru service, and that how you explain Gurukulam. He is part of Guru's team. Doesn't matter that he lives in the ashram or he's outside, but he is exclusively focused in serving Guru. That is how he is a brahmachari.
Actually, Prabhupada gave us realizations, not just wisdom also. That's why very special actually. Otherwise, so many people, even in India, they know so much stuff like information and even some of the things they practice and all, but they actually don't know because there is no clarity. There is no central, like there's no concurrency in their knowledge. It's very haphazard. So, but we are like so blessed with least of the effort, we get the best of the wisdom, the best of the realizations. Thanks to Srila Prabhupada and Sri Chaitanya Mohan Prabhu. So thank you for your so much enthusiasm. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Acyuta Mohan Prabhu ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.